Hello, good morning, my dear students. This is Tiru sir, your SST teacher. So, welcome to the online classes of Sri Eknath Khadse English Medium School, Muktayanagar. So, the students, today we are going to discuss very interesting chapter of history, chapter number 3, that is the in the earliest cities. So, the students, it has given for you something. So, what is earliest? Earliest means some thousands years ago, some 100 years ago. Okay, right? At that time, how the buildings and different type of infrastructures it was. So sometimes we also observing some old buildings, old mountains, old temples, etc. So which is nowadays it is very critical conditions, that is breakable conditions. So government also giving different type of steps, taking different type of steps to how to save it, isn't it? So different means many types of historical things are present till nowadays also. So all the historical things is our government take caring. So in this way, so how it was the previous the thousands years ago, how they're living, how they're making this type of infrastructures, how they're making the buildings, drainage systems, each and everything. So how their system works. So each and everything today we are going to discuss. Okay, did you understand what the earliest cities means? The previous houses, buildings. Okay, so when you think this matters, so first of all, the first earliest civilization, that is Sindhu Sabhyata, Sindhu civilization, I mean Indo civilizations, it will coming to us. So in that Indo civilization, our archaeologists they discovered different type of cities, Harappa cities, Mohenjo-daro cities. So different in different places, in some part of Pakistan side and some part of India sides, isn't it? So they discovered. So among them, first we are going to discuss first the story of Harapans. So I will read a content, listen carefully, then after I will explain you one by one. Very often old buildings have a story to tell. Nearly 150 years ago, when railway were being laid down for the first time in the Punjab, engineers stumbled upon the sites of Harapans in present-day Pakistan. To them, it seems like a mound that it was a rich source of ready-made high-quality bricks. So they carried off thousands of bricks from the wall of the old buildings of the cities to build railway lines. Many buildings were completely destroyed. Then, about 80 years ago, archaeologists found the site and realized that this was one of the oldest cities in the subcontinent. Subcontinent means what? India is a subcontinent. As this was the first city to be discovered, all other sites from were similar buildings and other things were found were described as Harappan. This city is developed about 4,700 years ago. Very often old buildings are pulled down to make a way of new constructions. Do you think it is important for preserve old buildings? So actually these buildings, how it is created, what was the reasons behind that for searching these buildings and each and everything. So when our government started, so 150 years ago, when so at the time the British governments are ruling, so when they are making railway tracks into these areas, they had to dig in the wells. So at the times different type of bricks and different type of valuable things came outside from in that places. So at that time only they came to know something, special houses, I mean buildings are present. So definitely this area might have a small old cities. For these things already previous many years ago discovered about this cities, about regarding cities and house building systems, drainage systems, each and everything, the previous only discovered some other places. Then after this, all the places came out. So they named that is Harappan. Okay, so it was developed. I mean, this city systems, it is everything. The Harappan civilizations, each and everything already developed in the previous 4,007 years ago. Before, at the time only the city planning, house buildings, and the drainage plannings, and street planning, each and everything they well known. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the cities. Okay, about the special about these cities. So what type of cities they're making, and what type of cities are discovered by the archaeologists. So have a look. So one thing is in Harappan civilization, just I am making India map for you. This is suppose just to feel that it is a India map, right? So these are the rivers. This is the Sindhu river, I mean Indus river. Got it. So in this area, in these surroundings, all the civilizations, Mohenjo-daro, Harappans, all the civilization has been discovered. Got it. So now we are going to discuss. Just I am reading content. Many of these cities were divided into two or more parts. Usually, the parts of the west were similarly but higher. The part of the west side. This is the west side. Okay, this is the eastern side. Okay, so western side is the higher places and higher cities. So archaeologists describe this as citadel. Generally, the part of the east was larger but lower. This position is higher position, and this position is very lower position. But plenty means large quantity of places are present in the lower side, but this is very lower section. But this it has less, but it is very high. The high altitude, height more. So this is called lower town. So this is called lower town. Very often worked or backed brick were built around each part. These brick were so well backed that they have lasted for thousands of years. The bricks were laid and an interlocking a pattern that they made wall strong. My God. So though it is lower section, this areas means eastern sides areas, so that is what they said, lower cities. So the same way there is higher cities, obviously I think so. But their building systems and the bricks very strong. The backing of the bricks is very it is very tough, and that was very work is very nice, very perfect, and the linking of the bricks in the wall, it is very difficult. This way the wall was very strong for the years and hundreds of years, thousands of years. So in some cities, special buildings were constructed on the city hills. For example, in Mohenjo-daro, a varied special tank which archaeologists call Great Bath. So in the Mohenjo-daro, they may have discovered another one things. Means the Mohenjo-daro not only for the bathing means Great Bath, but also they have discovered different type of houses, buildings, and each and everything, including that a Great Bath. I mean, just like a pond, something else they discovered. So that wall, the system also is very fantastic and very high developed, high modernized. Okay, till today how we are using the same way they used at the times. Okay, the was the built in this area. This was lined with bricks, coated in the plasters, and made watertight with a layer of natural tar. There were steps leading down to it from two sides, while there were rooms on all sides. Water was probably brought in from wall and drained out water used. Perhaps important people take a dip in this tank on special occasions. Other cities and such Kalibangan and Lothal had fire altar where sacrifice may have been performed, and some cities like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal had elaborate storehouses. So in this way, whenever they discovered the Great Bath also very different, means a highly modernized technology they have formed, and they have discovered prepared, they made. Why? Because they have the system also to entering the fresh water and to removing the dirty water. The different modernizing systems they made in the 4700 years ago. So highly technologically, highly modernized their systems. So that is, you have seen these pictures. Let you see these pictures. Got it? So this is a very interesting chapter. I mean the interesting places. So in this way they had built. Now I am going to discuss how they built the houses, the drainage and streets. We are going to focus. Generally, houses were either 1 or 2 stairs high with room built around the courtyard. Most houses had separate bathing area, and some had walls to supply water. Many of the cities too had covered drains. Notice how carefully these were laid out in straight lines, although you cannot see it. Each drain had gentle slope so that water could flow through it. Very often drains in the houses were connected to these on the street, and smaller drains led into the bigger one. As the drains were covered, inspections holes were provided intervals to clean them. All 3 houses, drains and streets were probably planned and built at the same times. My God. This system, cities, towns and drainage and street system, each and everything well modernized. So at the time, how we are today's how we are making the drainage, each and everything, the same process they used in the 4007 years ago. I mean, they well organized and well known about the society. So the students, not only this, but also they have in the Great Bath the surrounding different small room system also is present, that they change the dresses after bathing. So at the time also they having the systems, and they having some different culture and creativity, different type of they are following the culture, traditions, each and everything. They are following the spirituals activities. Okay, so in this way they are making difference. So in this way, not only for that, but also in building constructions of drainage and construction house building, each and everything well modernized. Okay, and how we are making our drainage systems and closing the drain, the same way they are also closing the drainage systems and each and everything very neat and clean. And the slope inside the drain is very gentle, that the water will goes clearly and properly from top side to bottom side, and each and every house is connected the drainage system, and these all are the small drainage systems, and all the small drainage systems are connected to bigger drainage system. Bigger drainage systems which is a flow in the side of the road. Okay, so in this way all the smallest drain is connected to bigger one, and in that bigger one it is completely the water can flow easily and freely and properly. So another things, that is street systems is also very modernized. Okay, so we have seen the pictures. By the picture you can get the well knowledge about that. So now we are going to discuss now life in the cities, how the peoples are living in these cities and what these systems. And one more thing, listen, when the draining systems are supposed even chalked, what happens? So after some distance, little bit distance, they are having some one circle that they can repair and they can clean the drainage. So now we are going to discuss the life in the city. A urban city was very busy place. Oh, there were people who planned the construction of special building in the city. These were probably the rulers. It is likely that the rulers sent people to distant land to get metal precious stones and other things that they wanted. They may have kept the most valuable objects such as ornaments of gold and silver or beautiful beads of themselves. And they were scribes, people who knew how to write, who helped prepare the seals and perhaps wrought on the other materials that have not survived. Okay, besides there were man and women craft persons making all kinds of things either in their own homes or in special workshops. People were traveling to distant lands or returning with the raw materials, and perhaps stories many terracotta toys have been found, and children must have they played with this. So according to this, after cities and towns, each and everything, so we just imagine that those persons who are living, they are highly sophisticated, highly royal peoples. That's why this, they use different type of sophisticated goods, and they are using valuable things as, and they're keeping the valuable things just like gold, silver, this type of things are they're keeping inside. So then after the what are they doing? The rulers likely means the people living there, they looks like just rulers. Okay, why? Because the systems is like that, the surrounding is like this, the atmosphere is like that. So it is very different things. Is not only this, the people also have some writing things and reading some script also they know, and they also used to keep the details and data, what they used to do at the times and what they means living, and what they're surviving in that areas in that times, what was the things are surviving, what was not surviving. So each everything they're going to write. Besides this, what doing the besides this, there are no different type of craft things. You know, craft persons, they're making different type of things is by using different type of metals or materials. This type of things also they know very well. So my list of the people who lived in the cities where all the people's list ended up living villages of America. And not all this, that means they're making different type of things, is they're preparing different type of things, toys, something else, and they're moving one place to another places to carry something different type of things is. Okay, and they're making stories, perhaps stories, and many terracotta toys also they're exchanging from one place to another places, and so they used to play with their childrens. So in this way they're making different things as wherever it is happening for that. So now we are going to discuss about this chapter, that is what type of crafts they're making, that is we are going to discuss the new craft of the cities, or what is required for that, and what is valuable things, and whenever it is happening something else. So we are going to discuss something special things, a special report regarding the crafts. So let us discuss what is crafts they're going to discuss. So let us look at the shapes of the object that made and found in urban cities. So most of the things that we have found by archaeologists are made of stones, shell, and metals, including copper, bronze, gold, silver. Copper and bronze were used to make tools, weapons, ornaments, and vessels. Gold and silver were used to make ornament and vessels. Perhaps the most striking find on those of beads, weight, and blades. So different means now we're going to focus on craft. What type of craft they're making? The different types of crafts they're making by the different type of metals or materials, right? So what at that time what type of materials were available? Just like gold, silver, bronze, copper. So by that they're using different vessels, ornaments, different weapons. So each and everything they're making, they're forming to survive for themselves. So by the gold and silver they're making different type of ornaments. Okay, the horsemen also made seals out of stones. Okay, so not only these things but also they're making the seal. Okay, seal means at the time coin, something else. So they're making seals which have some valuable things for that. So next, the seals illustrate. You might have seen page number 27. Just to see page number 27, some seals are present, some toys are present. So these all are the well known. What they see in that time, at the time, what type of animals are surviving, and these all the making the toys and by looking them. The Horman also made a pot with beautiful black designing such as the one showing on the page 6. So the metals used in the village, learned about the chapter 2, was stone is used to make weight. So at the time the making different type of vessels, pots, okay, pot with some materials or with clay, and they're making designing different colors. They're making design the pot in different types of colors. So let us discuss. So cotton was probably grown at Mergen from about 7,000 years ago. Actual pieces of land cloths were found attached to the lead of silver vase and some copper object at the Mohenjo-daro. Archaeologists have also found spindle wheels made of the terracotta of the fans. These were used to spin threads. So at the time they used to make some cloth. Cotton also they know how. So whenever making something discovered, so at that time in 7,000 years or 7,000 years they discovered the cotton, and they use some different threads just like a spine thread and different which is very strong. They used to make when they are going to use made some ornaments, different designs. So at that time they used to use this type of different type of threads. So let you discuss the made of the terracotta. So many of these many things that were produced were probably the work specialists. A specialist is persons who train do only one kind of work. For example, cutting stones and polished beads or curving seals. Look at the illustration page number 28 and see how well the faces in the curved and how carefully the bead is sewn. This must have been the work of an expert craft persons. So not everybody could have been a specialist. We do not know whether only men are specialists or only women were specialists. Perhaps some women and men have been specialists. So in this way, they're making different type of ornament, different type of things. So according to the designs and everything, we came to know that at that time the peoples, those who belong to live in that civilizations, they become more specialist in this work. Actually, we cannot confirm that only men are specialists, or we cannot confirm that only women are specialists. Not like that. Some women and some men are well specialized and specialist to make different type of ornament and different type of things, and they are making and they are selling to others, something like that. So in this way they are making different type of things. So according to the designs, according to the structures, each and everything, we came to know that they are well specialized in this work. Now we are going to discuss in search of raw materials, how they are searching the raw materials and where they are getting the raw materials and how they are changing into finishing goods. Raw materials are substances that either found naturally, such as wood or ore of metals, or produced by the farmers or herder. These are then proceeds and to produce finished goods. For example, cotton produced by farmers is a raw materials that may be proceed to make cloth, while some other raw materials that the Hormans used were available locally. Many items such as copper, tin, gold, silver and precious stones had to be brought from the distant places. So one more listen. So first one thing we are going to discuss that. So whenever they are making raw materials, some finished goods, first suppose cloth, isn't it? So whenever they are going to cloth, they need the raw materials, what? cotton. So generally some raw materials they are producing in the crops, and some raw materials they have to search or dig on the world, or different they have to bring from other places some materials, I mean minerals or some metals, something like that. They cannot grow metals, they cannot grow, so they have to discover some other places, isn't it? So they're making crops of the cotton, and they're producing the cottons, and that cotton they're using as raw materials to to making the cloths, and different type of silver, gold, copper, bronze. So this type of metals they're bringing some other places and making different type of finishing goods with giving different type of designs and colors. The Harpans probably got copper from present day Rajasthan, and even from Oman of West Asia, and tin which was mixed with copper to produce bronze may have been brought from present day Afghanistan and Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present day Karnataka, and precious stones from present day Gujarat, Iran, Afghanistan. So raw materials, which is cultivated, so they can grow in this place, but in the metals they cannot produce from here, so they have to bring from different places, places just like Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Gujarat. So Gujarat, Karnataka. So from these different places they are bringing different type of metals like bronze, copper, and they mix into two things, and they're making and other things is. So in this way they're producing different type of metals, and by the using of the metals they're making different type of finishing goods. Now we are going to discuss food of the peoples in the cities. What type of foods are they taking and how they're living? Okay, what type of foods are available in that time? While many peoples lived in the cities or the livings in the countrysides grow in the crops of rearing animals, these farmers and had supply food to craft persons and scribes and rulers in the cities. We know from remains of the plants that Harpans grew wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed, and mustard. Oh, now what are you growing nowadays? The same crops and the same cultivation they started to grow at the times, and they used to eat these things. And maximum peoples are living in the countrysides, not city sides. A new tools, the plow, was used to dig the earth for turning the soils and planting seeds, while real plow which were probably made of wood have not survived the toys models and have been found. As this region doesn't have to receive heavy rainfalls, some form of irrigation may have been used. So this means that water was stored and supplied to the field when the planted and growing. The Harpans reared the cattle, sheep, goat, and buffalo. Water and pastures were available around the settlement. However, in the dry summer months, large herds of animals were probably taken to greater distance in search of grass and water. They also collected fruits like bear, caught fish, and hunted wild animals like the antelopes. So at that time they also know how to plowing and how to making. So each and everything they are making different type of cultivation to make the applying the seeds and sowing the seeds, each and everything purpose, and model have been found. And actually till though at the times they doesn't get any more rainfall, still they are planting and they are making crops and different type of cultivation. That means they are following some they're making some reservoir and they're storing the water, and according to the time they're using the water and they're growing the plantations. So according to these things is. So in this way they're making the plowing and they're making different type of cultivations and different type of things is. And they're rearing also different type of animals. What type of animals they're rearing? Sheep, goat, buffalo. So this they're getting milk and flesh, something else, isn't it? Not only this, but also they're gathering the food. It's like fruits like bear, and they're catching the fish. Fishing also one of the best occupations of the day times. So next, hunted animals. Hunting also is another part of their lives. Now we are going to discuss a close look of urban towns in Gujarat. So Gujarat, just you have seen these all areas, here also present the urban civilizations. Okay, so let you focus on Gujarat civilization, how it was. The city of Dholavira was located in Khadir Belt, it also spelled as Bet, in the Ran of Kutch, where there was a fresh water and fertile soils, unlike some of other urban cities which were divided into two parts of Dholavira was divided into three parts, and each parts was surrounded with massive stones wall with entrance through gateway. So there was also a large open area in the settlement. So in this way, two Dholavires were Khadir, and one is two divided in another is three divided into sections according to this. So each one divided that with a massive stone walls. Okay, so the entrance through the gateway. So there was also a large open area in the settlement. So where public ceremonies could be held and other finishes, including the large letters of the urban scripts that were carved out of the white stones and perhaps inlaid in wood. This is a unique find in generally Harpan's writing has been found on small objects such as seals. Okay, so in this area the Harpans in these towns in the Gujarat. So in the Gujarat places, different places, that is the one place name is Dholavira, which is divided into three parts and which is surrounded with a massive stone wall. Okay, these all the places covered with big stone walls, right? In that area they have different type of houses and different type of things, and it has a very big space, I mean surrounding a big rooms where they used to use for the ceremony and festival, something else. So whenever the festivals each and everything festival will continue or conducting, so at that time they are going to conduct in the places. The city of Lothal stood beside the tributary of the Sabarmati. So another one, Lothal is one of the place which is situated in the tributary of the Sabarmati in Gujarat. The close of the Gulf Khambat, it is very close to the Khambat. So it was situated near area where raw materials such as easily available. So this was an important center for making objects out of the stones, shell and metals. There was also a storehouse in the city. So many seals and sealing in these impressions of the seals and clay were found in this storehouse. So not only this, different type of writing script also present in this area. Okay, the making it is visible in the different stones and stone walls, and the script were written in that area, and not only in the walls but also some little small letters also script in the small scripts are written in the seal. Okay, and not only this but also they used to make different type of storehouse for future planning purpose. They're making the food something else whenever they're making different type of food items where it is going on. So this all the things is also they used to make, and it is only for the better for future making storehouse food and food to make and to keep for the future purpose. Next, a building that was found where probably working of the making beads, pieces of stones, half made beads and tools of bead making and finished beads have all been found here. Not only this but also different type of some valuable stones and valuable which is very looking very nice and very fine and finished things are found in this area. So now we are going to discuss. So this all the things is means this is the biggest civilizations. It was worked for many years and they lived many years. So how it is ended, how it is finished, what was the reasons behind that the civilization completely destroyed, how it is. So now we are going to the mysteries of the and what was the ending and what was the reason for that, just what we wanna discuss now. Around 3,900 years ago, we find a beginning of major change. People stopping living in many of the cities. Writing seals and weight were no longer used. Raw materials brought from long distance become rare. In Mohenjo-daro, we find that a garbage piled up in the street, and the drainage systems broke down, and new, less impressive houses were built even over the street. So why did all this happens? We are not sure. Some scholars suggest that the river dried up. Others suggest that there was deforestation. This could have happened because fuel was required for baking bricks and from smelting copper ores. Besides, grazing by the large herds of cattle and sheep and goats may have destroyed the green cover. In the same areas there were floods, but none of the regions can explain the end of all the cities. Flooding or a river drying up would have had an effect in only some areas. It appears as if the rulers lost. So what happened generally? 3,900 years ago, generally it find the beginning of major changes. So living, so gradually in their lives some little bit changes occurred, not only in this life but also in the society. The atmosphere also gradually changed. Okay, so the ending is showing different type of regions. Somebody says that the planning of the cities and towns changed, and they're making some less impressive houses. There's no planning anything, it doesn't have anything plans, proper plan. Without any proper plans they made house. So in this way they destroyed all the houses. And some person saying telling that the rearing grazings means the goats, sheep is everything they completed, the grasses, each and everything. So in this way the flood came, and somebody saying like that, and somebody saying like that the rivers completely dried. So in this way the standard living also gradually decreased, and they suffered different problems. So any one reason also completely doesn't saying that how this happened. So in this way different type of reasons explained and different type of reasons showing to end this all the cities flooding, and not somebody saying floods and somebody saying drought. So completely anyone also don't know that how it is ended. It appears as if rulers lost control in many cases. In the effect of the change are quite clear. Sites in the Sindh and West Punjab, present day Pakistan, were abandoned, while many peoples moved into newer, smaller settlement and to the east and the south. New cities emerged about 14 years later. You will read about them in chapter 5 and 8. So the students, in this way, in that circumstance, in this area completely destroyed and dried. So somebody saying that the persons, those who are living in that area, they're leaving the places and they're going to new places. In this way they left the places. So gradually the cities stopped in that area. So in this way somebody peoples and saying, and from the times the new cities and towns raised in different new places. So regarding these things as new places and new cities, where it is emerged, whatever may be. So these all the things is you will read in chapter 5th and in chapter 8th. So in this way the cities of Harappan civilization and Mohenjo-daro civilization and others not civilization, other cities and towns has been destroyed, and in other places different type of new cities and towns emerged or developed. Okay, so the students, I hope you understand these lessons, and whenever you have any doubt, you read properly first the lessons, definitely you can get understand and you can realize it. Okay, so my dear students, I hope a question and answers you'll write. If you don't have any idea, I will help to you, there is no problem. Okay, thank you, bye bye.